My name is Kelly Malooly, and my TED Talk is about my journey with osteosarcoma. Many of you would look at me and have no idea that there is a metal rod inside the majority of my leg. Unfortunately, that does happen to be the case for me. All of those pictures you're seeing were taken after I had limb-sparing surgery performed in June. Osteosarcoma is a word I wish I never learned to pronounce. To me, it has become my entire life for the past 7 months. Sarcoma awareness is extremely important in today's world because if not treated early or while the tumor is still localized, it could potentially lead to amputation or much more extensive measures needing to be taken. Today, I want to share my story with you about my journey with cancer while also helping you learn the specifics about more what sarcoma is, the different types there can be, and the signs to look out for. My journey began all the way back in December. I've been extremely active my entire life. I was a member of my college's cheerleading team. I'm always going to the gym and often like to run 5Ks in my free time. I started noticing a constant pain and uncomfortableness in my left knee. At first, I really thought nothing of it. Oh, I'm just extra sore from practice, or maybe I just went too hard on leg day at the gym. Little did I know that pain was from a tumor slowly growing inside my femur. A month passes by, and I decide to finally go to the doctor while I'm still home for winter break in January. They do an x-ray and ultimately diagnose me with patellofemoral syndrome, which is described as an aching pain in the front of the knee generally caused by overuse. It made perfect sense for my level of activity. I thought maybe I had been doing too much by going to the gym almost every day and having hours of practice on top of that as well. The doctors wrote me a script for physical therapy, and I went back to school with a knee brace for 2 months and continued to cheer, living my normal life, until I came home for spring break. Now this is March, and I went to my follow-up appointment that had been scheduled, assuming my pain would be subsiding. However, my knee still felt the same and was still very swollen. The doctor did not like what he saw and had me do an MRI scan immediately, which I didn't really even know what that was at the time. Within an hour, I received a phone call that they found a tumor. From there, everything was a complete whirlwind. I was scared. I had so many unanswered questions running through my mind. My biopsy, which was my first ever procedure, was performed within days, and I was diagnosed that week with osteosarcoma. From there, my daily life was now a fast-moving cycle of doctor's appointments and scans, and I was completely overwhelmed with what my new life was about to become. Ultimately, my treatment plan was 6 rounds of intense chemotherapy and limb-sparing surgery, which I had explained about in the previous slides. I had to finish out the remainder of my spring semester at home, which was truly so upsetting for me, and stay for the current semester as well. I was devastated and even afraid of losing myself and what I was about to become. Fast forward 7 months, and I'm currently finishing up my 5th round out of 6 for chemotherapy, and I'm 3 months post-op, recently celebrating taking my first steps in surgery in September. The moral of the story is, this disease truly comes out of nowhere. We even had genetic testing done, which came back stating that it is not linked to my genetic history and will not be passed down to my children, which is amazing to hear. Osteosarcoma does not discriminate in terms of who it affects. Take me, an extremely active individual, for example. And it must be treated early before it has a chance to spread. This is why it is so extremely important to know the signs and what to look out for before it is too late. Osteosarcoma itself is one of the most common forms of child cancers. However, it is unfortunately overlooked in terms of awareness. I had never heard of osteosarcoma, or any type of sarcoma really, all before I was a victim of it. And that's not how it should be. According to the Mayo Clinic, sarcoma is defined as a broad group of cancers that start in the bones and soft tissues. From there, it is broken up into 2 groups of classification: soft tissue sarcomas, which include liposarcoma, leiomyosarcoma, rhabdomyosarcoma, angiosarcoma, and fibrosarcoma, and then bone sarcomas, which are osteosarcoma, Ewing sarcoma, and chondrosarcoma. Osteosarcoma specifically more affects the long bones of the legs and arms, and in my case, it was my knee and femur. It is characterized by the formation of tumors in the cells normally forming bone. Although it is typically most common in teenagers and young adults, it can still affect individuals of any age, and the cause, unfortunately, is pretty much unknown. Although it is a rare cancer, the chances of developing this are low, they are never impossible. I would often ask myself, why me? Why did I have to be the one going through this? I wonder if I did something wrong that gave me bad karma and caused this tragedy. But these are questions I will never get answers to, which can be good and bad. I try to remind myself that this situation was out of my control, but it does make it difficult to get closure as well. There are many ways that we can get involved in terms of spreading awareness of this less common form of cancer. Some of the methods I participated in, including attending a walk held by the Sarcoma Foundation of America. Additionally, I purchased a lawn sign and designed t-shirts and other merchandise to advocate for sarcoma awareness. I was even interviewed by CBS and my story was featured on the news. Since most people are getting their news and learning from what they see on social media, I always make sure to post about Sarcoma Awareness Month when it was July, or to share facts or statistics that I would see posted online. I try very hard to do my part in terms of raising awareness and sharing my story, to let more people know that this disease is really out there. Now that we can identify the different types of sarcoma, let's dive deeper into the specifics of symptoms and treatment. Osteosarcoma can cause knee pain or swelling in the affected area. Some limb pain during growth is normal for active children and teenagers. However, if the pain does not go away in a few weeks, or if there is a lump or other mass that seems to keep getting bigger, see a doctor. In my case, I had pain in my knee that I had assumed was just from cheer for at least a month before I went to the doctor, and at least 3 months before the tumor was found during an MRI scan. This goes for any type of cancer, but it is absolutely crucial to constantly be in check with your own body and take care of yourself when you notice something is different, since you are the only one who really knows how you feel. Osteosarcoma can be treated using chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. For my case, I required 6 cycles of chemotherapy and limb-sparing surgery around June to remove the tumor completely, which was roughly halfway through my chemo plan. Although I was lucky enough to not need it, it is also very common for osteosarcoma patients to require amputation depending on the stage and level of their tumor. To wrap up, I hope that everyone was at least able to learn something new about sarcoma today, whether you had heard of this branch of cancer before or if it was something completely new to you, as it was to me in the very beginning. Although Sarcoma Awareness Month is in July, awareness should not be limited to that month and that month only. It is important to be aware of the symptoms, different types, and treatment options to educate yourself on this less common, but just as dangerous type of cancer known as sarcoma. Now that I've provided a little insight into what I've been going through this year, if you were diagnosed today, how would you cope or react? Now imagine a scared 18-year-old in that position, which was unfortunately my reality back in March. It's been a tough journey these past couple months, however, the only thing I can do is take things one day at a time. Before we end, I would like you to all keep in mind that you will never walk in someone's shoes. As amazing as my support system has been, it really hits me differently when I meet someone who has gone through chemotherapy themselves and can relate to me on such a personal level. It is important to always provide support to those facing a cancer diagnosis. However, understanding that you won't understand them firsthand is important to acknowledge that you can be better at supporting them in different areas. Thank you.